Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. I am Michael. Morning to you, brother. Renee, good morning to you. D, all our note takers, for those that come on, for those watching the recording, for anybody and everybody. It has been Michael. Hope you're feeling better. Heard you were sick yesterday, so hope you're feeling better. Um, Renee, I got your message and I will follow back up with you because I was going to tell you I have not received that email. But we'll connect and we can put something together for your stateroom there on that. Um, so, guys, I am coming in a little hot. I'm not going to lie to you. This morning's been a little bit of a crazy morning for me. Just counting down the weeks until school starts. So I had to drop off the kiddos. So literally, I came in on two wheels over here. So I am putting a couple things together. I did a post this morning on what's going on with real estate agents. What are their problems that they had? And so I want to literally open up that Facebook group to look at it. And while I'm doing that, opening this up, I'd like for you to tell me what area you're calling from because we do a lot of referrals, and Dee has now come on board with us and working with us on our investing side. I have several people that do some of the investing stuff. Michael is another person that we're going to have some conversations with down in Florida. This market is changing all, and I was Ricky Caruth. Um, I was listening to some of his stuff and had the privilege of texting with them, and you know, it's a little challenging. And days on the market are increasing. Our interest rates are doing what they need to do, what they don't need to do, and so we have to be ready. And you got to be able to understand what it is that your license can do and what opportunities that you have and how can you be efficient with your time. If I'm talking to somebody right now who's kind of like feeling it and being a little bit of a lull, being like, you know what, I gotta agree with you on that. Maybe you're crushing it. Maybe you are crushing it. If you are crushing it, you can come off of mute and we'll have a little bit of a conversation to hear what you're doing because that's what it's all about is understanding, what people got going on, what they're doing, what's moving, what's shaking. And that was the other reason why I want to come on here is to share with you some of the things that I'm doing on where I'm getting my business. I'm very fortunate right now in our business where I feel there's some energy, but you got to know where the energy is. It's kind of like remember trick or treating when we would go trick or treating, like you knew what subdivision, or you're like, I know what house to go to. I'm gonna get a lot of candy. Remember that? Dee's like laughing, like we know it. Now we got to do that in real estate. We got to be able to understand where is it that we can be able to get business on here. And I think we got 4 new listings this week. I think I'll total 13 new listings in the last 30 days. We put 7 under contract. It's been one of those type of like last 2 months, but I pivoted. I've changed a lot of different things. Okay. Michael's been in the business long enough. Remember 07, 08, the foreclosures, short sales specialist, right? We had to go into that category. I remember studying all a bunch of short sales and foreclosures and everything under the sun because that's where the business was. And then guess what happened post COVID and the interest rates went to 2.9%, 2.75%, right? My son Bryce, 7 years old, could sell a house. It was just like, let me just take all the offers, right? We didn't need anything to be able to sell a house. All you needed was a piece of paper and you could sell it. Things are different. All right. I'm gonna do a little pop quiz. DOMs, your DOMs in your area. Put down what your DOMs are in your area. Some of you are going to be like, damn, I don't even know. Okay, which means you need to study your market. You need to know what your market is. Put your DOMs in here on how many it is. Here in the Charlotte area, We're hovering right around upper 60s. I think we're getting closer to lower 70s as things shift a little bit more. Um, how many would you agree? Yes or yes? Depends on price. Nicole says 100. Let me open up my chats here because I always like to know too. I like to study. Northeast is different. I got anybody from the Northeast? 120 plus in South Carolina, 60 days. See, Northeast, they're still lower in the Northeast. Their market is different up there. 90 days. Yep, right here in Charlotte. Nicole, where are you calling us from, Nicole? Amy, what do you got in Tennessee? What's going on in Nashville? I think you guys are very similar to us a little bit. I know they've been growing maybe 50, 60 in Nashville that you got. What about you, Tom? 60 plus, right? Remember these days? They were different. Remember, we'd be like, one day, 4 days. So it was a shift of what we're seeing in the market. And a lot of times we're not ready for the market shift until it happens. And then it's like we feel like we're chasing. So just kind of like a broad range of what I'm seeing, what I got going on. So when I looked at it, I was just like, what can I do? Where can I find this? And so what I decided to do about 2 months ago, this is really not what I'm going to coach on, but I'm just going to kind of share with you a little bit of some insight. What I decided to do is I really started to, and Michael, I was talking to this about your team yesterday when I was coaching them, is I started to shift on solving people's problems that are going through some challenges, meaning distressed properties, people who are behind on their taxes, people who are behind on their mortgage payments. Yes or yes, forbearances are yes or yes that FHA delinquencies are going up. Does anybody notice that? Go to Google, go Gemini it right now. What is going on with for FHA delinquencies? They're going up. Auto loan, auto loans, delinquencies. Google it. They're going up. Foreclosures, they're going up. Tax delinquencies, they're going up. Credit card usage, yes or yes, they're going up, right? These are all leading indicators, all that people are challenging. For those of you on the coast, my coastal people, I was talking to somebody yesterday or last week. She's down in North Myrtle Beach. And that's why I always find it's very important all to learn what's going on in different indicators, different parts of the market. And I said to this girl, I said to her lady, I said, How's the tourist season this year? She goes, Brock, it's low. It's really low this year. Michael, you're in a tourist. Is it a little bit lower down there in Naples? Yeah, it's lower down there. Anybody else that's in a tourist part of the country, summertime, is it lower? And what I'm hearing across the board is that the answer is yes. Tourists are a little bit lower. There's only so much credit card debt you can take out, all, and then you max out. All right. Then you go take a look and start looking at people's equity lines. They're increasing. Okay, where do you get some of this information? Chat GPT, Gemini. Go look up some of these things. Start asking yourself these questions. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple key points here that what you can do with this. So this is what I did, and I started to say that I can help you solve problems. I did a post the other day of just being like, I can sell ugly houses. Remember those signs you used to say, like, I buy ugly houses? Well, what I say now is I solve ugly houses problems. I can take care of your problem. We see that expired listings. Expireds, they're not very happy right now, but if we can still solve their problem, there could be an opportunity. Did a listing yesterday in Monroe, North Carolina. I was talking to D on the phone. It was an hour and 10-minute drive. Write this down, write this question down. How far are you willing to drive today? How far are you willing to drive today? Right? It's much different when the market was booming. If you're not within 10 minutes of me, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I got too much time. I got to go look at everything else. I got to do other things. I can make money this way faster. Now, hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20. Hell, depending on where it is up here in the Charlotte area by the mountains, I don't mind trying to go towards the mountains. Like, well, you know what? I might go to Taylorsville, right? I'm going an hour and a half tomorrow. Nancy, I just got my MLS. I got my MLS in Greater Greenville. I get my MLS in Coastal Carolina. I'm getting my MLS in the Triad. I have it in Canopy. I now serve 47 counties. Why? Because there's opportunities. Because you know what? I might have to travel a little bit. I might have to go outside. And guess what? You can all, can you all do this? Yes or yes? Can you all do this all in your own? You're a real estate agent. You can do this type of stuff. You can study it. You can learn it. Coastal Carolina, I think it cost me $225. And I'm in it. At Greater Greenville, it was $175. And I'm in it because you can affiliate yourself because you are a licensed real estate agent. So talk to your brokers and charges, talk to your managing brokers. Say, like, hey, what does it look like? Can I affiliate? What's our affiliation look like? You can do this type of stuff. Oh, Michael's got a question. Yes, Michael.
Hey, good morning, Brock. Um, I was with Keller Williams for a long time, as you know, and I just heard a podcast by Gary yesterday, and it resonated. Well, how many conversations are we having every day? Whether it be
Hmm.
five, whether it be 10. I think, and I'm not, making judgment, and I'm speaking on my behalf. I got away from tracking my contacts and making the contacts purposeful. And okay, maybe I'll have five or 10 to rejections, but it's just closer to the nose. But I believe I agree with what you're saying, but we just have to have more conversations on a daily basis. That's the shitty part of this job we don't like.
Yep. Well, and I appreciate you saying that. Sharon would say that all conversion, something like this, all conversion starts in conversation. Like
Hmm.
you have to have a conversation. People tell me all the time, well, I'm mass texting. Last time I checked, mass texting does not, like, you can't text somebody, I like to marry you. They're not going to marry you if you text them that. But we want that instantaneous, like, I just hope if I text message 250 people. Like I see all this stuff all the people put on Facebook and like, well, I'm going to connect my Claude to my MLS or I'm going to connect my Claude to my CRM and it's going to mass text, mass email, do all this stuff and filter it and then I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna wait until the deals come in. There's Claude's. I got Claude AI. I got Cowork. It's just gonna text me when it's no. We just want the easy button, and unfortunately, it's not that. Renee's the one that she's the broker in charge, of South Carolina. She's on here. And if I was to say, could you pull up the numbers? And for those of you that could might even know it, what is your agent count looking like year over year? The NAR agent count is, I guarantee, lower this year than it was last year. And I have a really strong feeling that the agent count is going to go even lower over the course of the next year to 2 years. So why is that taking place? Is because our fees haven't changed, but our income has. Our expenses are still there. And what we need to understand is that we have to become better. We have to be better at converting. Michael, you said it. This is not a really like it's a money problem, but really money is not a big problem. It's a people problem. And we're not talking to enough people, not having enough conversations. So when I looked at my business, I said, all right, that's why I said I got to broaden my horizon. So I literally, there's an expired listing that I found in North Myrtle Beach and he was expired. He was actually looking at a house in Greensboro. And this is just the expired list, all that you can get on Arch Agent, Vulcan 7, all these different things. Some of these are also people who are distressed. So you can get distressed property. This is an absentee owner. Write that down. Absentee owner. Go find absentee owners. Absentee, where do you find them? PropStream, PropWire. They're free. Okay, you just got to filter them. Some of them do cost some money if you want it, but you can skip trace. That's exactly where this one came from. Prop stream, prop wire. I can't. I only have like two people on video. Where is everybody at? I can't. I see. I see a lot of you on here. What up, Greg? Good seeing you, man. Happy belated birthday to you. There we go. Now I got some people on video. I like to see faces. I like to see faces. Hey, Renee. So prop stream and prop wire, write that thing, write those websites down because that's where you can get these lists all. So this list was, he was an absentee owner in Greensboro. I started talking to the guy. The guy ends up, he's like, I got a house in North Myrtle Beach. And I go look, I said, well, do you mind just let me just take a look at the address? 1.1 million. 1.1 million. Guess what Brock said? Tobin, when would you like me to come out there? When do you want me to come out there? Because you know what? I can make this into a little fun little time, go down the beach, have a conversation with you. And guess what I do? Guess what I do? I go look up. Actually, I was sending this to Diana and Michelle. At the time, Renee, I didn't know you like I know you now. And I was just like, do you have an agent who's really plugged in working hard, but maybe just not have gotten it to that next level? And they're like, yeah, we have two people. And nothing against top producers. I'm getting ready to do a post on what's the difference between top producers and high producers. And I'm going to save that for another time. But I said, so do you have like a couple agents that I can have a conversation with? Why? Is because top producers don't want to pay you a referral because they think they're too good for everything. And they're just like, I'm not paying referral. Let me just do it myself. I don't want to deal with you then. I want a hungry person who's ready to rock and roll and be like, I'll do anything. You'll work with me. You'll co-list with me. Yeah, I'll do that. Let's just co-broke it together. Because guess what? I'm also not going to be naive enough to go into an area 3 hours from me and say, yeah, I'm the top producing agent in this area. That's not right. I'm not. But I'm a good real estate agent and I'll work really hard for you. And I'm going to make sure your marketing and everything's done correctly. And I can coach and train and work with agents all across the country. But I'm not really from this area. So I'm going to get an agent that is. And I'm going to get an agent that's going to be a rock star, that's going to work hard. And they're going to be the ones that are going to be like, yeah, Brock, I'll do an open house. Yeah, Brock, I'll go to door knock. Yeah, Brock, I'll go do this. Just tell me what to do. How many of you know somebody? Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. A yes sir, no sir. We got a lot of people out there that could do that. Get yourself around them. Write that down. Get around people that are yes or no sir. Get around them. They'll work. Learn the lane that you're good at. Learn the lane that you are good at. And once you learn that lane and you can see it, then you can be able to apply it and help other people in other lanes. And so end up getting this appointment in Myrtle Beach, which then led me to getting my MLS there. And then now you're able to market and do different things in different parts of the country, different parts of your state, I should say. So just some really good opportunity. So you guys got to think differently. You got to think differently. How many of you are willing to think differently? Drop a 5 in the chat that you're willing to think differently, willing to do things outside the norm so I can survive. And then I can not only survive, I can take it and shift it into thrive. Because I want to thrive right now in this business. While people are bitching, whining, and mowing, and I can say that because this is not it's not going into the public. This is just between us all, just being honest. Just being honest, like I want to thrive. I want to be like people be like, how many listings do you have? What do you every time I look on your Facebook, either something's under contract. I'm doing land, I'm doing absentee owners, I'm with buyers, I'm with distressed properties. This expired I got in Monroe, listed at 695. Okay, we all know him. We know what type of business. I'm not going to badmouth anybody, but it's Mark Spain and his company, and we get a lot from Mark Spain. We get a lot of expireds from Mark Spain because how their business model is. Nothing wrong with it. He freaking crushes it in the country. But Mark Spain's listing agent. Anytime I see Mark Spain, I'm just like, this one should be good. 695. 695 was the list price. I went to the house yesterday, spoke to the lady. She's like, are you like that other agency? I said, ma'am, I'm not. I can assure you that, but I don't know what they did. So before I say anything, like what took place? So you notice I absorb just like my formula, just like my book. Okay. I validate her, I check for clarity, and I ask a question. That's what I did. I said, well, tell me a little bit about what they did that you didn't like, right? Because then I'll be like, well, I'm definitely not going to repeat that. And so she started telling me, I said, ma'am, that's not, no, we're not going to do that. But I'm going to be honest with you. Do you know how you came up with that price of 695? That's what they told me, Brock. That's what they said. That's what I just so they said that. I said, did you have any showings? She said we had like two. I said, were they probably right in the beginning? Yeah. Then we didn't have anything. Is it fair to say that that agent probably didn't talk to you too much the rest of the time? Yeah. How do you know? I want to be like, that's because that's how most agents are. They they get hot and heavy in the beginning, and then when things don't happen, they don't know what to say. They don't provide any value. Next thing you know, you're expired. Okay, it's lack of communication. And I said to her, "Well, you were just overpriced, and I like to list your house for 600,000." She goes, "You know what? And that's where I thought I was going to list it at." I said, "Well, I didn't want to come out here and just start wasting your time if we're not even have the same alignment on that." She's like, "Yeah, that would be a great spot, and we can go all the way down to 550, all because we started to work the numbers." Now, her house, all is not like I'm going to new construction. I'll just tell you that. But we'll figure it out. It's got an in-law suite that she's renting out for $1,000 a month. I said, I had no idea. Didn't even say it in the MLS. Is that important information? So I want you to write this down. Am I studying my market? Am I studying my opponent? Am I studying my competition? Am I studying? And when I say competition, to me, it's like she might not be my competition, but there's other people that are probably vultures after her because she's in the expired world. Know your market inside out and backwards as much as you possibly can. Study it. Study it. Why didn't she take the cash over? Because that is what was there first. Is oh, the I don't know. I don't know that, Greg. I'm not too sure why she didn't take the cash. It's probably low. For those of you in the cash world, they're typically 30% off market value. So she first had high expectations of 695, even though she didn't think it would work. She was hopeful, right? How many people are hopeful that they're going to get something, hoping and praying, and then when reality sat, it just wasn't. That's my assumption on what it was. So, but anyways, the key theme is I need you is to understand is one, know your market and pivot, expand your market, grow outside your market, travel a little bit further. I remember I was coached by Jeff Glover, and he would just be like, you know what? Back in the day, we used to travel 2 hours to be able to go to an appointment. Are you legally able to go sell homes within 2 hours within your MLS? Yep. They do you, but we don't want to do that. So what did I do while I was traveling? I had 5 phone calls that I made throughout that time period. D was one of them. I forgot who else I called, but I made my phone calls, I engaged with people, did my follow-ups in there. Okay. Now some of you might say, well, that doesn't sound safe. Now I'm not the most safest driver in the world, but I gotta believe like I was able to pick up the phone and make some phone calls while I was doing. Like I wasn't doing emails, but I was making phone calls. How many of you are willing to do that? How many of you be willing to do that? Drop a yes in the chat. Drop a yes in the chat if you're willing to do that. And if you are willing to do that, one of the things I talked about on here that somebody said to me, how technology and the right systems, how technology and the right systems can create opportunities. So willing to drive, it was kind of part of this was a process too. I think the girl asked me, and I apologize and whoever put that question out there. You have to have a process, you have to have a system. Okay. Every single morning, those that know me, it's right here. Like I write out my calendar every single day. Every single day, my calendar is written in here. Not it's in my Google Calendar too, because but I have to write it down. I need to know what my game plan is. And one of the new things I started to do is at the end of the day, usually between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, I go through and I check off things that I did and I circle things I didn't do. Now, here's the key thing. Here's the key thing, Steve, is when I do this, Amy, when I circle this, Maria, I just don't circle it and say, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. What I do, Michael, is I say, why didn't I get to it today? Understand why you didn't get to something. It's kind of because my football coach comes out of me. If the play didn't work and it was a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 2 or whatever else, and we go back to the film, we don't just say, well, that didn't work, scratch it. We say, like, why didn't that play work right here? Was it the defensive formation? Was it where you were in a line right? Like, what took place in this positioning? Okay. So when I circle it, I said, okay, how come, like, Ken Pozak. Okay, Ken Pozak, Michael, he's on my list. And it's just like, why didn't I get in touch with Ken yesterday to do this? Well, I remember that basically what happened was is it was a figure out Friday question I had for him, and it wasn't a top priority quite yet because it wasn't time sensitive, so it got pushed down below. Well, guess what? Ken Pozak was on my list, and I place him in a different spot on my calendar because the top order of a top order of what I want to get done goes to the top of what I need to do, needless to say. Do you all have a strategy like that? Do you have a strategy on your calendar? Or do you just kind of like, well, Brock, I do it. How many times people tell me, I got a calendar? I'm just the same as me. Like, but I don't have a process of my calendar. I just write it on there and hope I get it done. So there's a process and a system on how I reevaluate myself. Like, why didn't I get this done yesterday? What can I do better tomorrow to make sure that that doesn't get circled again so I can be efficient with it? How many of you, be vulnerable, how many of you would like to be a little bit more efficient with your calendar? Put a 10 in the chat. Put a 10 in the chat if you're like, what, I need to be I need to be a lot more efficient in my calendar. Michael, what do you got for us, brother? Got your hand up.
Okay, I'll be. I know what I should be doing. I just don't do it, Brock, half the time, and the consistency is not there. And I can guarantee you, there's many of us here on this call that are like that. And there's no judgment, folks. There's none. It's been tough. It's been tough. And I'm not crying. I'm not, packing up the tent, but it's tough to motivate yourselves every day without accountability, or basic systems. You say work on your calendar. I say, make your conversations. Okay. You know, what's holding me back? I can tell you right now, sometimes the Facebook or Instagram abyss you get caught up with and the distractions we have, and not just social media, politics, economics, etc. So I'm going to own it. Don't like it, but I own it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Is there anybody else on here being vulnerable, willing to be like, that's me too? Drop a me in the chat if what Michael said was part of like something you're doing in your business. I mean, with a variety of things. I mean, I hear people tell me all the time, like, I didn't mow my yard, I was supposed to clean out my garage, I didn't get to my groceries, or like, I mean, I didn't get to my laundry, and full like, I mean, name it. And there's somebody on here that's probably going through the exact same thing on here. And I think you probably hear this. It's amazing how efficient I become, Patrina, right before I go on vacation. Right before I go on vacation. Who are my people? Like, I'm freaking a badass. I can just crush it right before vacation, 5 days before. I'm knocking it out of the park. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I get this done. I'm at the store. I'm cleaning my house. I got the car packed up. I got the gassed up, like oil change. Like, we crush it. Is because we have a goal and we have a measurable and we have some sort of dream of where we need to be because we got to get that flight. We got to be in that car because you're not going to miss out. You're not going to miss out on that vacation. I'm pretty sure there's nobody on here that if they just dropped a couple grand on a hotel, a beach house, a vacation, I didn't get all my packing done. Just not going to go. I'm just going to call them up and say I'm canceling the trip. I'm not going. Hey, yeah, couldn't get all my stuff in my car. Didn't pack it up, didn't get my laundry done, and I'm not bringing dirty. No, we find a way to get it done. Okay, we find a way to get it done. And and the best advice I can tell people is one is your environment. A lot of people, how many people work from home? How many people work from home? Working from home is good and bad. It's good and bad. Okay. Um, I have people around me or close to me that tell me all the time, like, Brock, how do you not like have the like I don't know, like I guess Brielle's my daughter said something to me. She's like, Dad, these clothes have been in the dryer now for 2 days. You're at home all day. How do you not have the like how is this? And I was just like, I don't have time. Well, you work from home. Mom works from home. I said, but it's not part of my schedule. Like I gotta get this other stuff done. And so, yes, it is hard to do. I'm not saying that it's like it's easy peasy. But what you got to understand all is I need to have an office to be most productive. Yeah, I mean it's taken me some time to be efficient in my home office at my house. I'm very big into dressing up. Okay. I am dressed, impressed, ready to go at any given point, showered, clothed. I don't wear shorts. I don't wear shorts to work. Even though like I'm out of my house, I don't wear shorts to work. I make sure that I'm dressed because I treat it like this. Who gets to choose that? You or you, right? Who chooses how you approach yourself or how you get yourself ready to rock and roll for the day? You do. I can't remember what else you said to me, Michael, but you said something of like, we are the ones. Oh, Facebook Abyss. How many of you are turning off your notifications during the day? How many of you are turning off your phone or putting your phone on silent during the day? Well, I might miss a call. I'm pretty sure you're going to be okay. What are you doing to better yourself? Write that down. What are you doing to better yourself? I just promoted the book, The Gap and the Gain. There's a part of the book, The Gap and the Gain. I think this is the book. And for those that read it, you can let me know. But there's a part of the book where Poland wanted to become really good at the in the Olympics, and I think it was Poland. And the coach who came into it, his main theme is does it make the boat go faster? That was their big theme throughout the entire campaign of them getting into the Olympics. And he said, every single time, does it make the boat go faster? So they would say, hey, coach, do you think we should do this? Do you think we should, work out more in the mornings? Or is that going to be too much for us in the afternoons when we row? He goes, well, does it make the boat go faster? Should we go on a diet? Does it make the boat go faster? Whatever it is for you, what is your question? So my question always is does it move the needle? Does it move the needle when I do this? And that's my question I ask myself all the time. Does this move the needle? Going to bed late and getting up early, having a drink, eating right, setting an alarm clock, watching Facebook, looking at Instagram, studying the market, not studying the market, going out to lunch for 2 hours. Do those things help you move the needle in the direction you want to go in? And guess what, all? The serenity prayer helps out with that answer because you're the only one that can control it. Nobody else. Leah on here, I coach her, and she started getting up at 6 o'clock. She wasn't getting up at 6 o'clock. Now she gets up at 6 o'clock. And guess what? She controls her alarm clock. Nobody else. She's the one that does it. Just as much as, there's a saying, I can and I can't. Both can happen. Both are very reasonable. It's which one do you choose over and over again? And so when I go back to these questions that you have here, that was put into me, is what opportunities am I missing out on with my real estate license? How far am I willing to travel? Um, don't put all your eggs in a basket of like using AI. Study AI long enough with these technologies tools, but don't immerse yourself into it that it takes up your entire day and then you become overwhelmed. And then my how traditional sellers can compete with new construction builders or stacking up incentives for buyers. Well, so the question was is how can traditional sellers compete against new construction builders that are stacking incentives for buyers? Well, first and foremost, when I hear that, is you're not going to beat them. Okay, you're they are too big of a conglomerate that you aren't going to beat these new constructions that are there. So I look at it as is, well, how can I benefit from them? How can I benefit from new construction? So here's something that you're not going to like. How many of you an opportunity to join them? Yep, exactly, Greg. An opportunity. So to me, it's like, well, how many of you are doing a video standing outside of that subdivision listing all their incentives? Hey, I'm outside of the Isle of Palms out here, and what a great community we have out here. Isle of Palms is giving out some great incentives. There's five of them. I'm going to give you two. If you want the other three, drop a five in the chat, and I'll send you the other three. Here's the first one. They're doing 2 points off the interest rates right now. What a great way to be able to get your monthly payment down. Next, what they're doing is they're throwing the kitchen sink at you. Land premiums are gone, refrigerators in the place, washer, dryer, and guess what? They're giving a garage door opener on this place. What a great thing. How many of you want a garage door opener? Right? See, you're laughing. But this is the stuff all that you do to benefit them because if they see your post and somebody calls you up and they say, hey, Tom, saw your video, man. We've been actually looking at subdivision up here in New York, and we were thinking about moving down there. Could you send me some more information? Nope, nope, I'm not going to do that because I'm just working with traditional sellers, and we don't like those new construction people. They're taking advantage of us. They're just undercutting the system, and I'm not going to do it. No, you're going to be like, sure, Tom, when do you want to come down? What other information do you need? Let me also tell you some other things that they're doing. Let me tell you these other incentives that they got, right? So take what they're putting out there, go study homework, go find 3 subdivisions that are around where you drive geographically. Don't go to one Nancy, that is like $1 million subdivision, but it's 25 minutes from you, and it's completely not near any schools, groceries, or anything that you do, because you won't do it. You'll do it one time, and that'll be it. But if you drive by them, and they geographically make sense in your normal routine where you drop your kids off at school, where you go to church, where you go to the grocery store, where you go to the gym. That's where you stay in those lanes. And then that way you go by them every week. So when you see them, you can put the guilt trip on yourself and be like, damn, I have not done a video. Where's Latrice? I make Latrice do this all the time. Like, frickin' do a video about that subdivision. How many of you got a grocery store that's being built, a hotel, a new construction of a hospital? I don't know. Something. What's about to take place, all? What's about to take place in the next month? I'm about to do a post on this. What's happening in the next month across the country? It's already started. Begins with an S, ends in an L. School. Michael was really thinking. He's like an S and an L. School. School's starting. Know what colleges got you in your area? When are they starting? When is their homecoming for football taking place? How about high school? When's the buses schedule taking place? Middle school, elementary school? What are private schools talking about? What schools are in the areas of what people might be wanting to still move into? Just because schools start doesn't mean that real estate stops. But use this as an opportunity. Be like, hey, just want to let you know we got a couple of the main high schools starting to take place here. Huff High School right here in Cornelius, North Carolina. Their start time is 7:15. So for those of you that are traveling and you're trying to get to work, just want to let you know that the traffic's going to be a little bad starting August 25th. So I would reroute your direction because I've lived here for about 10 years and I've seen it get really bad. But don't you worry, by the beginning of September after Labor Day, they get it all worked out. So I just want to give you a little traffic update for those of you coming by Huff High School. Let you know. Yes or yes? Can you do that all? Yes or yes? Can you go into subdivisions today and find incentive programs? Yes or yes? Your real estate license allows you to sell new construction homes. These are what we call opportunities for you to be able to go out there. And that's literally what I've done the last 2 months. As I said, I'm got to think outside the box. I got to do things differently. I got to do 60 minutes a day of doing things outside the box in some capacity. The biggest thing that I haven't done that I get mad at myself on is doing some of these more video content. Because I don't know, as I was talking, as I'm like doing this video to you guys and pretend this mock video, I'm like, why am I not doing this? I'm like, that sounded pretty good right there, Brock. Like, why aren't you doing this? And I need to. I need to do it. So if somebody wants, I'm going to put it out here that you can come on my show on the Mindset Show at 8:15, or next time we're in Power Players, you go call me out if I haven't done. Damn. I don't know why the number 5 just came in my head. I gotta do 5 videos. You gotta do 5 videos in the next 2 weeks. Put myself out there. I gotta do 5 videos. Hold me accountable. I gotta do 5 of them. How many of them are like, damn, what am I gonna talk about? I don't know, Brock. You just said it. How many of you are also willing to do some videos? Hold yourself accountable. Put yourself out there. Pulte's building, David Weekley, massive developments in Indiana, True Homes, Brookline. These are all, go to ChatGPT and put in there how many new construction homes are going in 30 miles of my area. Look around them. Find out what they got. Throw out some incentive packages. See what they're doing. All right, all. It is 10:44. Oh, my last one, and then I'll open up to Q&A. Why leads ghost you and how to create better follow-up conversations. Okay? Leads ghost you because you're not giving enough value. Plain and simple. Okay. If you told the leads that ghosted you, hey, I came across an extra $1 million. Would you like it? Just send me a text message back if you're interested. There's a chance that they might even if they might not believe you, that they're probably going to text you like, where's it at? How'd you get this million? They might ask me a couple more questions because the value is so great of $1 million. Like, I don't know, like maybe I should just see what this is all about. Maybe this sounds too good to be true. Well, let me at least find that out. So you've got to be able to provide value. One of the things Ricky talks about is in your prompts is create high valuable content for people who ghosted me. Don't sound salesy, and create the content about the area I live in Cornelius, North Carolina. Please also make it very short and sweet so I can send this into a text message. Provide links if the article seems very, very interesting. That's a prompt that you can put out there for you to be able to create some sort of content. Now, Michael's team created something on here called a routine. And the routine is you tell ChatGPT to please do this search every single week, Monday mornings, and email it to me. Automate it. So that way it comes into your inbox and be like, oh, damn, I got to do this. I just got my email. Create a routine on that. Yeah, Michael.
As you know, Mish did that. I'll be more happy to share the prompts, Brock. But it'll take me a few minutes to find them to upload them. So,
Yeah, if you
just
want those prompts on what that is, just put prompt in the chat. Put prompt in the chat. Oh, also put your email in there too.
yeah.
Because this is not my normal recording or not my normal mindset show. So put your email in there, put prompt in there, and we will send you over the prompt so that way you can build what we call the routine on there. So that way it comes to you weekly. Because how many of you want to think about it every week? Like, oh no. but it comes to you automatically, it's going to be a lot easier for you to be like, oh, there it is. That's the content I
They're
want.
just conversation openers
Yeah.
per se. That's it.
Yep. 100%. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. All right, guys, it is 10:48 on the East Coast time here. If you got something out of today, if you got something out of today, drop a 5 in the chat. If you got something out of today, one nugget, one piece, one ingredient, one little tiny little thing just to make me feel good, put a 5 in the chat if you got something out of today. And who's got a question or a takeaway that they have for me? Question or a takeaway that they have. I'm looking for two. Two before anybody leaves, and I'm watching the screen to make sure nobody leaves. Looking for two, either a takeaway or a question for me. I don't even have a water, so I can't even take a sip. And I don't mind awkward silence modes either. I'm fine with that.
Dude, man, I just want to see what's going on with your hair. What's going on with you, man?
What's up, Greg? How you doing, brother?
What's going on with that look there?
Slick,
That
man.
that's a little
Slick. The
different.
slick look right for the beach next week.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for the
Any
text, by the
takeaway?
way.
Any
Thanks.
takeaway you got for us?
Well, listen, there's a lot that I could say right now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you've said that I've heard you say for, I mean, what, 4 years ago. But, you know, I would say that change is one of the most difficult things that we do as human beings. And sometimes it takes other people to change us more than it takes ourselves because we are our worst enemies in our own habits of being creatures of habit, right? And real estate can really be sometimes a major deficit in the way that we don't change. So, I mean, sometimes if it takes someone else who's calling you, asking you for something that they want from you, and you don't want to give them something, right? Like money, that's when you start thinking about you need to make a change, right? So, but real estate is tough. I mean, real estate is a very, very tough industry. We all know that. But um, I would just say something that Brock knows me pretty well to some degree. I actually got into a different B2C from about a year ago, and I would say that my skill sets have changed to being understanding what it means to be a closer. Because when you have to go to a home and you have to close the customer at the house that you've never met before and get them to trust you and like you, because if you don't close them and your closing ratio goes down, then you're not going to get another opportunity unless you do it yourself. So sometimes we have to do something else to help us in our own real estate, to help us in our own real estate business. Sometimes we have to take a risk in something to get our own skills. I mean, you can go on YouTube videos and listen to what's that guy, Elliot,
Andy
that's out
Elliott.
there, all those, but those are people that are already doing all this stuff. We're not, people always say we need to be like a Michael Jordan or we need to be that. Well, I'm not a Michael Jordan. I'm not going to be 6'3". I don't have that athletic ability. So I have to use what God has given me, um, and be proactive with it. And, sometimes you have to make a decision on whether or not what you're doing is right. And just either say no or you got to figure it out. But I'm not here. I don't do anything different, anything better than anybody on here. But I will say that over the last year, that my mindset is much different than it was prior to that. And a lot of it has to do with that I got into another field that has sharpened my skills. And because of that, I have actually gotten a lot of people, recruiters that have come to me and say, we are actually impressed with those other things that you do, just other than the fact that you're a realtor. Because
Well, the key,
a lot of builders don't, I've heard from a lot of number of builders out there. I've gotten recruiters from David Weekley and from other ones and from Eastwood Homes. You know, some of them are looking for somebody outside the box that's just not someone who's going out showing homes because they're not looking for tour guides. They're looking for people who are able to close.
Well, we
And
talked about that exactly and how you said that, where we all have a real estate license, and sometimes it could be new construction, it could be property management, it could be investor, it could be all these different things. And I like the line that what you said there, Greg, of just like I'm not the same person I was a year ago. It's kind of funny how you said that because I was sharing that this morning on the mindset show of like I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago when I was drinking and doing all my craziness. I'm a
right.
different person than I am here today. And so, I appreciate you sharing that. And just because of time here, um, I
Yeah, no
just
worries, man.
I love the way that we have to have skills. You have to be a closer in order to be able to convert, to be able to get to that point in your business. Because, like you said, is not everybody's. It's great to be a tour guide to some extent, but at the same token, it doesn't pay the bills. Like those things are they it cost money for gas and everything else that you got. So I
Go
definitely
door
appreciate you
knock.
giving
Go
that
door
information.
knock. Go knock on doors. Knock on somebody's door and just see what they say. That is a
Yeah,
skill set that a lot of people don't know how to do. But let me tell you, it really will change your game. It will change your mindset when you're able to close somebody at the door that you don't know.
a stranger. And that's a skill set right there, all on that.
Thanks,
So,
man. But we'll
all
talk soon, brother.
right, man. Appreciate you being on here, Greg. Thank you. All right. Last, I think Tom put put your contact information out there. You could have a referral in an area. Put your contact information in there. I think Che, you said something to me rhetorical. How do I remind myself to stick to my goal? Well, to be honest with you, I think what I would do is, do you have an alarm on your phone? Do you have alarms on your phone? All right. Do we all have alarms on your phone? My phone would go off every single hour. And can you name your alarm? You certainly can name your alarm on your phone. So name your alarm Monday through Friday, every hour, and name your alarm and put your goal in their alarm. What up, Chris? Put your
Hey,
alarm on there so that way you know exactly what it is that you're trying to do. What is your goal of what you got doing? So every hour my phone goes off Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock. And some of my alarms are named. Some of them are just me to know to check myself, go back in neutral. Latrice is doing it right now. She does it at 9. She has to text me at 6, 9, 12, and 3. That is what she has to do. And it's just to check in to see where she's at, what she's doing, get her head out of her tail if that's where it's at, to get yourself aligned into it. So, you know, we got to be able to position ourselves or we got to do activities that allow us closer to our goal. It does take work. Some of it's annoying. But if you do these small little things, you're getting what I say, you're moving the needle in the direction you need it to go in. So, all right, all. I appreciate everybody being on here today. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I got to do 5 videos till then. If I can help you in any capacity, in any single way, if you need anything from me, I'll put my phone number in here. Feel free to call me, text me if I can help you out in coaching, teaching, whatever it might be. Co-broken, I don't care. Investing. Let's have some fun in this real estate. Let's make some money. Till then, I'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 8:15 Eastern Time on the Mindset Show. If not, see you in 2 weeks on the Power Players. Till then, see ya.